The 11% tax from AB 28 last year is finally here, and as promised, CRPA has dropped a lawsuit. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel today. That is right, with the surge of litigation that is happening this summer, we see another one, an important one, filed here against the AB 28 tax. To talk us through it, we've brought back on CRPA volunteer president Chuck Michelle. Chuck, thank you very much for being on with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And guys, before we get into this today, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to these videos. It really helps with the algorithms to get this message out as far and wide as possible. We want to educate as many people as we can so that when we go to the ballot box in November, we have the Second Amendment as a priority so that we can get the right people in office. So Chuck, let's just dive on into this here. I mean, since the legislation was passed last year, on AB 28. This tax has been looming. It's gone into effect. The lawsuit is dropped. Can you fill us in a little bit on the reasons and what this lawsuit is?
Yeah, the lawsuit imposes an 11% excise tax on the purchase of guns or ammunition. So when you go into a gun store now and buy a gun, there's going to be your dross fee, your sales tax, and now another line for this 11% excise tax. We believe all those taxes cumulative, basically are designed to frustrate the market, to make it harder for people to afford to buy a firearm, and that's part of their goal. And they're also using this excise tax to fund general crime fighting problems. That's like saying we're going to pose an 11% excise tax on your prescription drugs to fight to fight illegal drug use. It's not, it's not a related cause. Gun owners who buy a gun in a gun store are not going out and committing crimes. So the tax is vulnerable, but it's been complicated because to challenge a tax, you have to wait till the tax goes into effect. So we had to wait until now to be able to file this. It goes into effect on July 1st, and we may have to amend it as the taxes are paid. So this lawsuit is liable to take a while, but we didn't want to get into a big argument, a costly, time-consuming argument over standing and whether or not we could file it before it went into effect on July 1st. So to avoid that cost, we waited, and we were getting ready to drop the lawsuit along with some of our strategic partners right away.
Well, I remember in past conversations with you, you were saying if there is a way, we have the will. So this is that will. Let's talk about those strategic partners really quick, though. So who exactly is it that we're partnering with on this lawsuit, and why is it important to partner with them?
Well, several gun stores and gun suppliers, because they have the standing because they're the ones that are going to have to pay the tax. And then there's associational standing for the CRPA, obviously, and we're also working with the Second Amendment Foundation, who we've had a very cooperative relationship with for the last couple of years in multiple lawsuits. And this time we'll also have FPC as a plaintiff on the lawsuit.
So where exactly, I guess, the lawsuit drops, you're saying, the complaint might need to be amended. There's a lot that's left to be desired as far as how these taxes are going to play out, how the lawsuit's going to play out. How do you see this lawsuit moving forward? And I got to ask, as I always do you have any sort of timetable in mind?
We'll file the complaint. We'll seek some kind of injunctive relief against this. And so it could be quick, but even if we prevail, the state's modus operandi is to appeal to the Ninth Circuit. So, this may even have to be a case that's brought in state court. We're not quite sure yet, but we'll go through the normal motions for seeking an injunction to block the collection of this tax right out of the gate.
So the main purpose of the lawsuit is to strike down the law, but absolutely, and as always, we will be seeking injunctive relief, which would mean they would not be able to impose this tax if we were to get an injunction. What are your final thoughts here, Chuck? The lawsuit is filed. We're operating as we normally do in an aggressive fashion to try to get this struck down. What else is left to be desired here?
Well, it's going to take work, so we need support. I mean, this is something that's going to affect everybody's bottom line, and probably put some gun retailers out of business. I have no doubt, because they don't sell enough guns to do enough business. They'll lose some customers. And the details on this, by the way it's going to be applied, the way it'll actually, the way the law meets the road, so to speak. I think the state is still working that out. The tax agencies. Remember, this isn't just Cal DOJ, the Department of Justice, defending a gun control law. This is the tax agencies defending the collection of a tax. So there's different government entities that have to be defendants, and we'll have to deal with all of those. So it's going to be a bit complicated. We really need support from CRPA members and supporters to help us finance this thing. We've given the usual nonprofit low hourly rates that we give CRPA all the time, but still, it takes time and money to win these things. So help us any way you can. We really appreciate it.
Well, you're making it sound like it's something that's going to be continuously evolving, so it's going to be super important. We're going to be following along, trying to bring as much information as possible as these new developments come out. Chuck, I want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us today.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. And guys, if you like content like this and you want to see more videos, please like, share, and subscribe to the videos. It really helps us out with the algorithms. We're trying to build up the channel so that we can get this message out to as many people as possible. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.